All right, I'm on time. I'm right on time. Welcome back. I want to, on this video, focus on one story. And the reason for that is because there's a lot to cover. And it was a story that surfaced almost a day ago, almost 24 hours ago, around 18 hours ago. This article surfaced. It contains advice from an animal management expert. Now, I imagine that's the same thing as a dog behaviorist or a trainer, right? It sounds like a trainer. Animal management expert. Now, you know that I've said for a long time, dog lovers should not be experts. They should not be considered experts ever. No so-called professional should have a bias towards or against whatever they are professional in. You see, a doctor cannot have a bias towards dead patients. You know, a doctor can't go into his practice preferring that his or her patients die under his or her care. You see, this is not an occupation where you should be biased. You should not be. I'm saying you should not be, because it could undermine or go against the integrity of the profession itself. And really, the result would be you lie. You'll end up lying to the public, which would make a joke out of your profession. And that's where we are with these so-called experts. Now, this is the story that surfaced this morning. Okay, it surfaced about 18 hours ago. And man, this is difficult. I'm going to tell you now, it's going to be difficult to deal with. Bear with me.
Puppies in the studio. Unwanted dog behaviour is on the rise. That's dog attacks, aggressive behaviour and roaming. Our Sunday program took a look at this last night. You take a look now.
It's a confronting sound when man's best friend turns savage.
One dog attack number's too high, really, isn't it?
Dog attacks are on the rise.
Like, I remember seeing a lion on the ground going, "Mummy," you know.
Now, I have to stop this. I need y'all to be mindful of what they're showing. They're showing real dog attacks, real moments where dogs that have attacked people are trying to be restrained by animal control. You have interviews by people who family members have been attacked. This is not a laughing matter. This is a very serious subject. I'm sure we can all agree to that. This subject is about the increase in dog attacks. Again, this story surfaced about 18 hours ago.
One dog attack number's too high, really, isn't it?
Dog attacks are on the rise.
Like, I remember seeing a lion on the ground going, "Mummy," you know. So thinking, I'm going.
Okay. So this is a mother reminiscing on her daughter being attacked. Again, this is very serious. This is not a laughing matter. It's a serious subject.
Rise.
Like, I remember seeing a lion on the ground going, "Mummy," you know. So thinking, I'm going to watch my daughter die in front of me.
Yeah, roaming dogs everywhere. We've had over 11,000 roaming reports.
This is real video footage. Okay? They have not reenacted anything. This is real police footage. These are real interviews, real people, real tears, real stories. This is as serious as a subject or discussion could possibly be, okay?
11,000 reports in Auckland this year alone. It's a 40% increase on last year's numbers.
Had we not been there, he was not going to stop.
Sienna Lewis's scars are fading, but the trauma will be with her for a long time.
What happens now in your tummy and in your body when you see a black dog out on the street?
I feel scared.
Mama Jenny May.
So this girl who has been attacked, she was asked, how does she feel when she sees big dogs? She said, I'm scared. I feel scared. Now, that's serious. Now, with a subject like this, why would they then segue into a discussion setting like what they have here?
He has whipped in to take away Kobe. And I'm now here with Ali Waitor, who is the manager of Auckland Council's.
So, with an intro like that, addressing the seriousness of this subject straight from the door, you're going to have a so-called animal expert sitting on your show to explain the increase in attacks, and she's sitting there with a puppy rubbing on it. That's out of line already. She has no business sitting there with no dog. She's letting everybody know from the gate, I'm going to defend the dog. I'm not here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to share facts. I'm here to twist truth, make up facts, and flat out lie in defense of the dog. That's what she's saying here. And that's what she proceeds to do, as we all know.
Animal management team, and you've got Sandra D with you.
Yes.
Can you tell us, Ali, what's happening out there?
Well, we've definitely had a significant increase in roaming dogs over the past year, so there's been about a 40% increase.
So she's on the show to explain the increase in dog attacks. This lady asks her, so what's the problem? And she says, well, there's definitely been an increase in roaming dogs. Okay.
A lot of that comes down to, I think, people getting dogs during COVID, lack of...
Whoa, what? What? Ma'am, can you explain the increase in dog attacks? Well, there's definitely been an increase in roaming dogs, and that's from COVID, people buying dogs during... What are you talking about? What in the world are you talking about? No, I don't want to hear nothing about COVID. That was over 3 years ago. Okay, that's the first problem. Why are these people still talking about COVID? The dog attacks we see today ain't got nothing to do with COVID lockdown 3 years ago that these dumb dogs don't even remember. And if the dog world is all about giving dogs a second chance, then you need to stop pointing toward a COVID lockdown in 2020. If you're saying that these dogs can't recover from a lockdown in 2020, then we should definitely ban all of them, because they simply can't recover from any previous condition in their past. You see what I mean? Okay, let's finish. And how nonchalantly this woman lies is crazy.
Over the past year, so there's been about a 40% increase. A lot of that comes down to, I think, people getting dogs during COVID, lack of desexing.
Lack of desexing. Spayed and neutered. What does that have to do with an increase in dog attack? She says, oh, well, there are definitely more dogs roaming, and that's the result of COVID and the dogs not being spayed and neutered. What are you talking about? That don't even make sense. I can't even reject to that point that she made, because I don't even understand it. What in the world is she talking about, people? What is she talking about? She asked you a simple question. Explain the increase in dog attacks. You start off talking about, oh, there's more roaming dogs around because of COVID and desexing? Oh, God. Okay, in case y'all didn't catch that, I'll let her say it again.
Well, we've definitely had a significant increase in roaming dogs over the past year, so there's been about a 40% increase. A lot of that comes down to, I think, people getting dogs during COVID, lack of desexing, and now we're seeing the onflow of that.
Now we're seeing the onflow of that. What are you talking about? Onflow of what? Listen, man, I hope y'all didn't expect me to go live and actually make sense. I would have liked to, but she is not making no sense at all.
Dogs over the past year, so there's been about a 40% increase. A lot of that comes down to, I think, people getting dogs during COVID, lack of desexing, and now we're seeing the onflow of that. On top of that, we've seen an increase in dog attacks on people by about 20% in the last year, so there's a lot of aggression out there from lack of socialization.
So she points out there's also an increase in dog attacks on people, and she says that's the result of a lack of socialization. Ma'am, how do you know that? Exactly what study, what did you do to find that out? Nothing at all. She went up there and just blurted out something. She did nothing. She didn't even go over information that would suggest what she just said. I'm telling you, she didn't. They never do. Lack of socialization. How on earth would you even quantify that? How would you even find that out? How would you discover that? How on earth can you go up to someone's dog who they've raised from a puppy? How can you then discover whether or not it had adequate socialization? You can't. And these same dogs that you say are well socialized always end up attacking people. Because your workers at these shelters put a stamp of approval on the dogs that they adopt out. They say, oh, it passed the temperament test. It's well socialized. It's ready to be adopted. They go on to attack. We get countless testimonies from the people who say, raised it from an infant, and all that socialization. Stop with that nonsense. Dogs are always socialized around people. And again, I don't want to hear nothing about COVID. She's talking about the dogs didn't get a chance to go to puppy class and go outside to see people. Okay, they say keep the dog in the house. It will increase the chance it'll attack people. And then and now they're saying you take the dog outside in the sun, it's going to increase the chance to attack people. Now the glare and the heat. So they win no matter what. They got an excuse no matter what. What are we supposed to believe at this point?
Yeah, watching that Sunday was quite, these dogs looked very aggressive at times. You mentioned COVID. What's happening?
Yeah, I know. The truth is dogs attack because they want to attack and they have an instinct to attack and they get off on attacking. That's the true reason why they attack. Do you know they can attack every day like they currently are? They can attack people every day like they currently are. And they can say every time it's because of a lack of socialization. Because nobody has established what is enough socialization. Nobody, nowhere has even established that. That's why you never hear them referring to any amount of time of socialization that a dog may need. It's just an excuse for them to hide behind. Now, this interview gets a whole lot worse. Listen to this.
Happening there.
I think, well, people were getting dogs over COVID.
Wait, whoa. Let's back this up.
Quite. These dogs looked very aggressive at times. You mentioned COVID. What's happening there?
I think, well, people were getting dogs over COVID. You know, they're locked in their homes and they thought, good opportunity, let's get ourselves a puppy. Unfortunately,
little Sandra D is nibbling on the mic. Yeah, you're very cute, Sandra D, but you've got to stay away from the mic.
This is supposed to be a moment of a serious discussion about people whose kids been torn apart, people who've lost family members, lost limbs. You're not allowed to be up here with a dog, kissing on it, rubbing on it, and cuddling up with it. Does that make sense? And that's totally fair. You're not allowed to be up here with a huge bias towards dogs when we're having a discussion like this, because we need you to be unbiased right now as the expert. And because you're not, we can't trust you. We can't depend on you.
It's on COVID, people were getting animals, but then they're not getting the socialization that goes.
Yeah, that's right. So not getting out to puppy school and that sort of thing, or out walking, or people coming onto, into properties and like
out walking, people coming onto properties, or the dog not getting out to puppy school. Okay, if you got a deadly creature that will decide to attack people simply because they haven't been around enough different types of people, then it has no business in society. These things are always around people. Inside the home means they're always around people. Don't tell me that they need to see other people outside of the home. Even during COVID, they did. People still took their dogs for walks during COVID, even during the lockdown. You couldn't just keep the dog inside. People were outside walking. They would have the dog outside on their lawn and all of that during COVID. Don't give me that. And if a creature, again, is so dumb and dysfunctional and dense that it wants to attack people simply because it hasn't seen enough people in its life, that is stupid on its face. What are you even talking about? What type of dumb creature is that you're describing that needs to see people, more people? Because it always sees people. It needs to see different people. Get out of here. They need to look at people that are not wise so they can attack them, bark at them. She said they need to see people coming onto the property. For what? So they can attack them and lunge at them? It didn't make no sense. And then what is she even talking about? Okay, it gets worse.
friends and family coming over, so dogs weren't used to that.
People were going over each other's homes. People were visiting each other during COVID. Yes, they were. That lockdown where nobody could do nothing, nowhere. Get out of here. Dogs are the one creatures that shouldn't have been affected by that at all. Stop acting like dogs are sophisticated. We know they're not sophisticated. The people that a dog sees inside of its home is all the number of people it needs to see to be used to people and understand that people mean them no harm. Don't tell me it needs to see a huge traffic of people walking up and down a flipping sidewalk to make so that it doesn't want to attack people. That is stupid anyway, even if it was the truth. That is ridiculous. What are you talking about? Unacceptable, man. You lunatic. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's right. So not getting out to puppy school and that sort of thing, or out walking, or people coming onto, into properties.
Not getting out the puppy. No other animal has all these excuses. These other animals don't see all these people and enough. They don't attack as a result. So that's all the more reason why these things need to be banned. Type of nonsense is that?
And like friends and family coming over, so for that. On top of that, there was a sort of decrease in desexing. There's a vet shortage, and so it's led to the sort of explosion.
Decrease in desexing. So a decrease in spay and neutering. Shut up, man. How do y'all know that? Y'all ain't done no studies. I'm telling y'all, these people are just lying half the time. They're just making stuff up. You have not went out and checked people's dog to see if it's been spayed or neutered or deset. Shut up, man, with that nonsense. Always trying to act like they know everything. Like they got some type of magical knowledge. You don't know nothing. You sitting up here lying, making stuff up, man. Shut up. I'm the one who really knows you making stuff up, because I keep up with the dog attacks that y'all supposed to know about. I can tell you don't keep up, you don't do research. So I'm not just making blanket or false accusations here. Stop talking. Now listen to this.
Shortage, and so it's led to the sort of explosion of pups, basically.
And a huge problem with them roaming out on the streets.
Yes, exactly.
So COVID is the reason why they're roaming out on the streets? That don't even make no sense. That don't make no sense. How does the COVID lockdown from 2020, how is that causing dogs right now today in 2023 to roam the streets? Man, if you nutters don't shut up, Lord, please shut up. Even if it's just for yourself, just shut up. Don't make yourself look any worse than you already are.
Yeah. What do you, like, people often say there are no bad dogs, there's only bad owners. Is that something that you believe in?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they all start off like this. You know, you think even the dogs that have caused the most serious attacks on people or stock or animals, this is how they all started out. So,
what? This is how they all started out? What are you talking about? Did y'all hear that? Did y'all catch that? She asked that the famous question. Do you agree that there are no bad dogs, only bad owners? And she said yes, because they all start out like this. And she holds up the dog's face. People, did she make a point in that moment or not? If she did, I'm not aware of it. I did not catch it. Let's listen again.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, they all start off like this. You know, you think even the dogs
Start off like this. And then she says,
that have caused the most serious attacks on people.
Then she said, even the dogs that have caused the most serious attacks on children. That's what she wanted to say.
Or stock or animals.
See, you notice how she strategically avoids saying children when she talks about the victims of dog attacks? You notice that. And keep in mind, dogs attack children most often, and children are least capable of fighting off attacks. They're more likely to suffer severe injuries. And that's the demographic she strategically ignores. You want to trust people like that? These people are evil. This is witchcraft, people. This is evil right before your face.
Serious attacks on people or stock or animals. This is how they all started out.
What is how they all started out? They all started out having 7 minutes of their life where they didn't attack someone. This is a puppy. We're all fully aware that all dogs in their early part of their life, they're puppies. They come into this world as puppies. We're aware of that. And we're aware that quite often 7 minutes, this video is 7 minutes long. We're all aware that quite often 7 minutes will pass where it hasn't attacked anyone. We're aware of that. But how on earth does that prove anything? And if it does, what does that prove? What are you even talking about? Did you just prove that these things are harmless somehow by pointing this out? What type of dumb statement is that? She sounds like a lunatic.
People or stock or animals, this is how they all started out. So the training has to go in at this age.
That thing is a killer right now. That's the same size as the puppy that just bit an infant's fingers off. What are you talking about? That thing is dangerous right now. What are you talking about? And when it becomes fully grown, it is a threat to people, even adults, even adult men. What are you talking about? You holding its face up right now don't change nothing? Okay, so this is her argument. I can only work with what they give me. This is a recent interview. This this just surfaced less than a day ago. This is their most recent rhetoric, the most updated. And this is what they're saying. They're saying stuff like this. Well, of course they're harmless. Look, this is how they all start out. Really, you lunatic. She needs to be taken away in a straitjacket, man. Wow.
So the training has to go in at this age, so to prevent them becoming aggressive and unsociable when they get older.
She said the training has to go into them at this age to prevent the aggression later on. What training are you talking about? Are you training it right now? What training are you talking about? What training? What training? And how have you magically discovered that the dogs that have attacked people didn't have that training at this point in their life? Just babbling. These people are just up here babbling. And again, even if that is true, that means you got a creature that is far too dangerous to have in society. You got to catch it when it's like 4 weeks old, or so it was like 12 weeks old. You got to catch a puppy when it's 8 weeks old or something, and then train it and socialize it. All dogs at that age see is people. What are you talking about? No matter where they are, whether it be a shelter or whether it be in a community somewhere, all they see is people. And I will say most of the dogs that were alive during COVID lockdown, many of them are dead by now. And the ones that are alive, they don't remember that stupid lockdown. That is foolish for them to still be talking about and trying to blame COVID lockdown for the increase in attacks right now. Really? Wow.
What are the things that dog owners are getting wrong?
I think part of it, there needs to be that mindset shift from my dog would never do that. So it's, my dog would never attack stock. My dog would
Notice she keeps saying stock. My dog would never attack stock.
never kill the neighbour's cat. It wouldn't attack a person. It's certainly not a child, because my dog loves children. But our shelters are full of dogs belonging.
Wow. Dogs prefer to attack children. And she's just conveniently ignoring that. Pretending as if they don't. You can't trust people like this.
Belonging to those people. So there needs to be that shift.
Well, wait a
my
minute.
Dog would never
Listen
kill
to what
the neighbour's cat. It would
Listen to what she's saying.
never attack stock. My dog would.
Dog owners are getting wrong.
I think part of it, there needs to be that mindset shift from my dog would never do that. So it's, my dog would never attack stock. My dog would never kill the neighbour's cat, it wouldn't attack a person, certainly not a child, because my dog loves children, but our shelters are full of dogs belonging to those people. So there needs to be that shift from my dog would never to my dog would if the circumstances were there.
What is...
Did y'all hear that? What are dog owners getting wrong? And this lady said there needs to be a shift from assuming that your dog would never attack someone to assuming that it would if the circumstances were there. I'm not twisting her words or nothing like that. That is exactly what she said.
Part of it, there needs to be that mindset shift from my dog would never do that. So it's, my dog would never attack stock, my dog would never kill the neighbour's cat, it wouldn't attack a person, certainly not a child, because my dog loves children, but our shelters are full of dogs belonging to those people. So there needs to be that shift from my dog would never to my dog would if the circumstances were there.
So she just suggested that you act on the assumption on the possibility that a dog will attack. That's literally what she said. For us to act on the possibility that the dog, that's xenophobia. That's what y'all call xenophobia. And this is what happens when you try to go against logic and common sense. You come right back around to it. Once people press you enough, you come right back around to it. So if people were to treat dogs as the possible threat that you just advised them to, that means they should not be in possession of one. That's what that means. Because right now the problem is that people don't. Right now the problem is people do not operate on the possibility that these things will attack. They go through life as if they believe they will never attack anyone. They truly treat dogs like humans. They can go anywhere in the house that they want. Completely trust them around their family. Isn't that right? So I don't even think she realized what she just said. That was incriminating. What she just said. That was bad.
This cat, it wouldn't attack a person, certainly not a child, because my dog loves children, but our shelters are full of dogs belonging to those people. So there needs to be that shift from my dog would never to my dog would if the circumstances were there.
My dog would if the circumstances were there. If the dog is present, then the circumstances are there. Thank you very much. The circumstances are there with the dog's presence. There don't have to be no other special circumstances. Nobody has to be standing in a certain way or hold a certain expression on their face to provoke a dog. You don't have to do anything awkward or weird or special to provoke the dog. You simply have to be present. And now, when it comes to children, they're more likely to be attacked on sight. That means as soon as a dog lays eyes on them, they're more likely to be attacked. The smaller the child, the more likely they are to be attacked, because the more vulnerable they appear. Dogs attack what they view as the more or vulnerable target. And dog owners kill me how they pretend not to know this when they purchase toys for their dogs all the time, and those are squeaky toys, and that squeaking sound replicates a live creature being killed and screaming. Okay, that's the same sound a mouse or some other rodent would make when the dog bit into it. So they practice their killing skills every day. These are killing creatures, and we all know it.
What are some simple things that dog owners, watching this could do to make things better?
I think one, don't let your dog roam would be a good one.
She said, don't let your dog roam. Now again, the dogs that roam, people are not opening their gates and allowing it to roam on purpose. People are losing control of these things. That's exactly the problem. This is so bizarre to me. I hate when people talk the way she's talking, saying ridiculous things. You know full well people are not relinquishing their dogs on purpose. All right, but let's continue.
Dog roaming, it's only going to get into trouble, so it'll get hit by a car, might attack another animal, might get attacked itself.
Get hit by a car, might attack another... Wait a minute, let's back that up.
Trouble, so it'll get hit by a car, might attack another animal, might get attacked itself.
Might get attacked itself, might attack another animal, might get hit by a car. Again, dancing around the most dangerous part of a roaming dog, and that is the roaming dog attacking someone's child. And she knows what she's doing. She's making a point to avoid and sidestep, pointing that out. If the dog gets hit by a car, is the community safer or not? Is the chances increase or reduce that somebody is going to get mauled? You could say the same if it was a bear or a lion roaming around in town. But then the cops would just pull out their guns and shoot it, no questions asked. Well, again, these things are really no different. And really worse.
It's only going to get into trouble, so it'll get hit by a car, might attack another animal, might get attacked itself. Whoops, excuse you. So not letting it...
It's horrible how they turn this into a dog nutter moment where they're going to just gloat over the presence of this mutant. Imagine that. People say they're going to have a discussion about the increase in dog attacks. You show up at the meeting and they're cuddled all up with puppies. You really think you can trust these people to tell you the truth? No. They're letting you know that they're about to lie to you and deceive you.
Get yourself a lead and take it out for a walk. But also just particularly with children, never leave dogs alone with children unsupervised. And especially if you have like a large group of kids, kids get excited, they run around. We need to stop putting that responsibility onto children to recognise the subtle signs of a dog before it's going to attack. And any dog, when it gets stressed, then it will react in one way or another.
Yeah.
Any dog gets stressed from kids running around. See, your kids run around and that stresses the dog out. So when the dog attacks, it's your child's fault. That's the story here, people. Kids run around. Oh, you don't want those kids. They run around. And any dog that's stressed. Yet, what do dogs do? Run around, don't they? Dogs run around nonstop, don't they? But yet, the sight of a child running around stresses the dog out. So, the dog runs around all at once. We're not allowed to get stressed out.
Attack. And any dog, when it gets stressed,
Okay, whoa,
then it
whoa,
will.
whoa, whoa,
So
whoa.
just particularly with children, never leave dogs alone with children unsupervised, and especially if you have like a large group of kids. You know, kids get excited, they run around.
No. Dogs view children as competition for food. Okay? You already increases the chance of them being attacked by a dog by having the dog in the home. It only gets higher if you leave the room. Okay? Stop with this kids run around. Oh, kids run around. Oh, kids misbehave. That's what she wanted to say.
If you have like a large group of kids, you know, kids get excited, they run around. We need to stop putting that responsibility onto children to recognise the subtle signs of a dog before it's going to attack.
Oh, we have to stop putting the responsibility on kids to recognize the subtle signs. Oh, y'all finally conceding to that point, right? How stupid it is to talk about kids seeing the warning signs. Well, it's stupid to talk about you, the adult, seeing those warning signs. Because again, what are you going to do? Nothing. You're not going to stop no dog attack. And those signs you're talking about, they are seen for only a split second. Dog will attack immediately. These things are always licking their lips. What are you talking about? These signs you're talking about are not conclusive anyways, and you know it. Several of these behaviors you also say are behaviors that the dog will display for other reasons other than it's about to attack. So what are you talking about? Not even what you suggest makes sense. None of you trainers, you got the same rhetoric, the same talking points, and none of it makes sense. I'm sorry. Let's finish.
We need to stop putting that responsibility onto children to recognise the subtle signs of a dog before it's going to attack. And any dog, when it gets stressed, then it will.
No. If it's going to attack, nobody can guarantee that it won't successfully attack. That's a fact. And that's a risk nobody in their right mind should ever take. What are we even talking about? I cannot wrap my head around. I don't understand. How can you have a child and not feel worried with a dog around it, nearby or around them? You know what it is? These dog lovers, they have a very simplistic understanding, or they have a simplistic way of thinking, period. They truly think they can 100% control the mind of a dog. They really, truly think they can program it just like you can program a computer. And that once you get the dog to, respond to your commands, now it's safe and now it won't attack anybody. Now, did you see it won't attack you? They assume it won't attack anybody. Oh, look, it's safe. Oh, it's not attacking me. It's sniffing me nonstop. It's safe. That's how the dog owners think. And that's why they always act surprised when it attacks someone. And they always look worthless, and they're unsuccessful at stopping the attack. They're usually unsuccessful at neutralizing the attack. The attack usually takes place. It's usually underway for a long time before they even stop it, if they even stop it. And they always sitting there looking dumb, looking stupid, talking about it. They've never seen it happen before. It's because, you big dummy, you was not supposed to assume that it won't attack other people just because it won't attack you. You're constantly feeding it. So if you know that the possibility is there that it'll attack someone else, then you're knowingly endangering the public and you're guilty. Anybody whose dog attacks someone, just based on logic, they should be prosecuted, arrested, and thrown in jail, man.
React in one way or another.
Yeah. Do we need, Ellie, do we need to be tougher on dog owners? If your dog is responsible for an attack or roaming, should there be a tougher penalty?
I mean, there are penalties already, so it's covered in the legislation. It depends on the severity of the attack. So that's anywhere from a minor attack, it may be an infringement offence, right through to prosecution.
She does not want additional punishments for dog owners. Okay?
And they can trigger a jail time of up to 3 years and a $20,000 fine. So the penalties are there.
Yeah.
It's just the I guess we want people not to get to the stage where there's an attack in the first place. But I think the penalties are sufficient at this stage. It's just how we enforce them.
Should we, I think the Dog Control Act dates back to 1996, and there are amendments to it in 2003, but should it be updated again?
It definitely, I think, could be up for a review. I think there's a number of measures in there that could be put in place to help protect the public and also encourage more responsible dog ownership. But again, it's the good dog owners generally abide by the rules.
Yes.
It's the ones that aren't that
No.
causing all the issues.
No. You don't get to conveniently call dog owners irresponsible only after their dogs launch an attack. Because before the attack, you call them responsible. You're liking their comments and whatnot. No. And the fact is, the owners of these dogs that have attacked people vary. The types of owners vary. That's the most logical, reasonable conclusion anybody can come to. They vary. There's not one approach that people are using or another. You're getting people, young men who are dog owners that are attacking people who are old men, old women. You're getting very aggressive people. You're getting very not so aggressive people. They vary. And no matter how you raise these things, no matter how you raise them, they can attack, and we all know that. So this lady, I thought, had a bad showing on this show. One of the questions she couldn't even answer, and the host had to move on.
It's already in there that you can't let your dog roam. Your dog must be registered. If it's menacing breed, it must be muzzled in public and de-sexed. But that's not happening already, and it's very hard to enforce when it's on such a
This is horrible. And this is in the UK. Wow. This is another video that surfaced here recently. Okay. Surfaced out of India. When did this surface? Yesterday. No, a few hours ago. They caught another attack on footage. I'm not going to show it, but I'm going to show the moments up to the attack. There you go. That is how dog attacks happen. That's the typical scenario. I'm telling you as someone who keeps up with dog attacks. These dogs saw her. They spotted her. She walked up, and then they walked up to her and attacked. Sometimes they'll simply see a child somewhere, go up and attack them. See, when there's no adult around, most kids are then afraid of dogs. They really just pretend to not be afraid when you are around. Chances of them provoking a dog when there's no adult around is less likely. We all know this. Yeah, this video footage from somewhere in India. Now over there in India, these dogs are stray dogs. Nobody raising them to be fighting dogs. Nobody raising them for evil. Yet that's all they carry out. Why can't the dog lover world get anything right? None of the points that they make, none of them are right. That's bad. That is real bad. And for this to be a recent, article or broadcast, what's crazy? This woman, she said the exact same thing last year. Online, if you Google her name, you'll find another article from late last year, around October, where she said the exact same thing, that the increase in dog attacks is the result of roaming dogs, and that's the result of COVID and desexing. Word for word, she said the exact same thing. Because all they do is regurgitate talking points. That's it. I've, on video, had to compile information as I went along. Many people know I developed ideas over time, keeping up with these stories. So I base it all on the actual reports and the video footage. They just base it on talking points, just rhetoric, stuff that they've read or that they've heard somewhere. Boy, oh boy, it creates such a matrix, such an alternate universe. It's like, make it stop. Why? Make it stop. So, I don't want a response from this lady. I don't expect these people to ever tell the truth. Okay, they're clearly, I believe many of them understand that their rhetoric is nonsense, that it's nothing but con artist type of propaganda. Okay, and that their information actually gets people hurt. They're fully aware of that. And they've just sold their soul, to that demon. Be that as it may, I still don't want them in my neighborhood, and I'm going to speak out against their existence. Okay? I don't want killing machines. That's the whole point of carving out territory on this planet, is to make it safe. If it's not, then what's the point? What's the point? If you still deal with the same thing you deal with if you were living out in the jungle, you'd have to deal with the possibility of a wild beast jumping out of nowhere and mauling you. And that's exactly what you have to deal with. And these things prefer to attack children. You are completely out of your mind. Let me share this video. This video upset me. This woman's nonchalant it's so easy to spew that dangerous, extremely dangerous rhetoric. They get off on concealing information that would keep people safe. Instead, giving them information to get them hurt. Yeah, it goes for those videos too. The dodo type videos. That's information. Showing videos of babies and toddlers with dogs. Those are suggestions. That's how you should look at it. And the nutters, they know it. More than anything else, those are suggestions. Hey, you do this too. Just to do it, get a goofy photo, and hey, we'll like it if you post it online. How you'll go viral. You'll be important. That's the root of this nuttery. Lack of self-esteem and confidence. These people truly feel pathetic. And they're willing to reach for anything, willing to pretend that a mutant's food obsession is love and affection. Pathetic, man. I want to encourage you to feel pathetic as this behavior is. Why not? You should. That's the truth of this behavior. It is pathetic behavior. You want to pretend this thing is in love with you. You know full well it's not. And endanger whole communities. We'll see who wins in the end. Shout out to everybody able to join me on this brief rant. I have to get my vitality back. All of that sleep seemed to have taken a lot out of me. And my brain is still in cobwebs, but I'm getting a lot better. And yeah. Oh my goodness. I truly believe it'll be taken off the internet someday. Someday. There's no way it'll stretch over several decades. It's just too dangerous. And it's too hypocritical. Especially when you ban it and putting pressure on so many other things. Right? Shout out to everybody able to join me on this live stream. And I hope to see you back on the next as we continue with this crusade.